Welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
Together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, so as always, we're going to be creating an animation from scratch live using HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript.
Just a tiny bit. Maybe no JS.
I might delete it afterwards, but we'll see.
We shall see. This show is made possible by your support, so head on over to patreon.com/keyframers, patreon.com/keyframers, and also hit like and subscribe buttons around our faces here, and that'll be big to help us out.
We're happy to answer any questions you may have, including Spanish translation advice. So please read out in the chat or comments.
That's right. And, let us know about audio levels or anything like that. Sorry about the a little bit of lag right now, but hopefully that'll smooth out. All right.
That's probably me.
What's that?
That's probably me.
Well, stop doing all that downloading, David. Downloading cars over there.
That's what we get from streaming in the hotel room, which I'm currently doing right now.
That will do it. All right. Well, what are we working on today, David?
Looks like we got a cool little slider animation, similar to a few other things that we've done, but this is more of a full screen one, and so it's just a really unique effect by Zhenya Rinzuk. I believe I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She has a lot of really interesting and awesome designs and animations, so I highly recommend that you dribble. That's post the link over there in the chat. This one is interesting because it's more of a desktop design, or as also like a design that you might see on an iPad where you touch each of the panels and they expand. So we're going to try to tackle that with as little JavaScript as possible.
Yes. Xenia just does so many great animations. I feel like probably half of our episodes are her animations. It's good quality stuff, and it's
right.
Things you don't typically see out there. So that's quite cool. All right. So yeah, we're gonna try. We're treating this like a menu. So you'll have like a menu toggle, and then that'll bring these bars in, and then you'll be able to kind of reveal the content of each bar. So yeah, let's hop into the code. So we've done a little bit of setup so far. Our HTML is pretty basic. We've got a nav wrapper, a button that's going to be our kind of toggle there, and then a nav list where each of those nav items is gonna live. And then we don't have too much going on with the CSS yet. So yeah, just got some colors in there. We'll, where do you wanna start?
Let's start with actually getting the layouts right first, because I think that's the normal thing that we usually do, and it tends to work out pretty well. So.
Yes. All right. So with the expanded state, like the expanded state layout?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So
well, actually, yeah, we could do that, but here, let's just get an idea of the size. So let's assume that all of these are going to be, just for now, 50% width. And so that never changes. Each one of these nav items, sorry if you hear any mowing noise, it sounds like an army of lawnmowers. That's actually me downloading a car, if you are wondering what downloading a car sounds like.
David.
I'm sorry. It's it's not illegal. It's just frowned upon.
I bet you copy floppies too.
Yeah, I do.
All right. So each nav item. So in our nav list,
it's going to be 100%. Actually, Yeah, that looks fine. $100 VH. So our bar navigation here. The body here. Let's make this background color black just so we could see what we're working with. So this bar navigation, white. It's going to be right in the. Whoa! It's okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it's I made it to 90 VH by 90 VW. We could change that, but we could also just stick to.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you've got there. A set height,
yeah, right. So we should like yeah, in the bar navigation we should probably just do a display grid template rows. It's just going to be one big row, so 100%, and then whatever, we can do whatever with the columns, but that way it makes it easier for this nav list to, instead of being height 100 VH, we could just say grid row 1 -1, which means from the top to the very bottom, and that's just a shortcut for doing that. And the nav item, it's just going to be, let's see, height 100% on each one, and width is going to be, let's say 50 VW. Like Volkswagen.
Fair enough.
All right. So now let's get some colors in here. The nav items.
So I'm doing that in the HTML with the CSS variables that you've set up.
Okay. Okay. So we could just do background color there, and then
color,
because it's pronounced variable. You can just do color over here. Let's see how that looks. Cool. So we have a bunch of colored nav items, which work great. For the, we're going to, my first inclination was to do position absolute, but instead of that, we're going to just use display grid. So
doing display grid. So one thing we need to do is margin 0, padding 0.
Oh yeah.
List style type. If you're using unordered lists or ordered lists, you have to kind of reset a lot of the base styles there. I'll do this up in a separate call so we can not have to. There we go. All right. So doing display grid there.
Cool. So on top of each other, and we could give it a margin left of like var I or calc var I times, let's say, just 10 daemon.
And you're doing position absolute? Okay.
So there we go. And of course, whenever you see a magic number like that, we probably want to move it to variables, but we'll leave that alone now. And let's just make sure it matches what we have. Yeah, it does, except they're in the wrong order. So we could do z index like calc. I'm just going to do 5 minus var I. And so that's going to reverse it. See how cool that is? So this 5 would be the total number. So we could put that on the top. Actually, it's already there. So instead of 5, we could do var total minus var I, because we have total on the parent's nav list. Come on, parentheses. Boom.
I added it in there. There we go.
Yeah. Wait, let's see. Var nav item offset. How big is that offset? Wow, these things are.
Hit refresh. I think you're out of sync. Oh no. Okay.
Am I?
One of us is.
Yeah.
There we go. Does that look right now?
Yeah, that looks about right. Sort of. So the all right, yeah. Position absolute height. So left calc 100% minus nav item offset. Let's see what this does. So
What are
this should
what are you
shift
trying to do
all
here?
of them to the calc negative. No, oops. Right, hold on. Nope.
What are you attempting to do here?
I am attempting to just move them all the way to the left, but
they are all the way to the left.
no, even further to the left, like as far left as they could go.
Oh, yeah, you're going to need to use transforms for that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Negative 100%.
Right, which is going to shift them up, but we don't want them that far. Yeah. So we could just calc that.
Right, so
Cool.
yeah, I need to go back and update this to be an actual BW. There we go.
All right, awesome. So just do one thing over here. Overflow hidden. Alrighty. Cool. So step one done. We have our layout. And now to get the fun little moving stuff.
Yeah.
Post dribble. Yes, we posted the dribble over there so you could enjoy that work and so many of the other works, which a lot of them have the same, look and feel, which is cool. It's nice to have that consistency.
Yeah. All right. So let's handle the toggling real quick so that we can then do the you're gonna go ahead and do the focus. Yeah. Okay. So and focus.
So if we do this, then that should be a squiggly.
Yeah. Yep. And
yeah. So what I did is I added focus to each one of these, which means that you could also focus on keyboard. Pretty nice for accessibility and all that. That way, for now, the toggling doesn't necessarily have to be with JavaScript.
Right. And there are certainly different considerations to make with this. That this won't always work like keyboard wise. You need to add like tab index and all that, and that can get messy. Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
There.
Okay.
Yep,
so
try tabbing. You'll see.
In theory, this works keyboard wise. You would also want to add like with focus within. In case there's items inside of those LIs that you can focus on. But you want to keep that as a separate property and not just do in focus with the comma, because that will break in browsers that don't support focus within, which is super fun. All right, so David's added a transition here with the duration and easing. And what we can do. All right. So what were you thinking as far as toggling with the menu?
What do you mean?
Like the way that animation happens
at the very beginning?
Around 5 seconds in to the animation. Where they slide in from the top and then expand.
Oh, so I was thinking that was just an intro animation.
Okay,
just to see how that looks. If we have a keyframes slide down, then we could have some sort of, that's going to affect the. Okay, so here's a technique. So what I'm thinking is we do need to transform translate y. The problem is that that's going to mess with the transform translate x. So the way we could solve this is by moving that translate x into a variable and then referencing that variable within each one. So I'll just do x or tx. We'll call it tx. So there tx, and then that should still work. So now when they slide down, oh wait, we have to do slide down for each one of these, right? No.
You would just do from, yeah.
Right.
Bar tx and then translate y negative 100%.
Then var tx. Yep, and then we would just let's look at this again. Probably add some sort of stagger, but the type of stagger, that's what matters. That looks like just a normal stagger.
Yeah. So let's see. Something is off. Add an extra.
Well, I hope it's off. That's what staggering's about. Whoa. Both.
Yes. Hey, both. Both. I think we just need one both.
But we could do two boths, can we? Yeah, I'm sure it'll work. Just do one both. Nice.
Okay.
But then, problem. Our focus stuff isn't. Oh, you know what?
Backwards.
Wait, backwards.
Yes.
Geez, this is a first using backwards.
I think we've done it before. So basically, what that property is for is animation fill mode backwards, and what that does is it changes how the final and the start and the final frames of the animation, how those are applied. If you do animation fill mode backwards from the initial start state, from or 0% applies until the animation starts. And then if you do animation fill mode forwards, the final state of the animation, the 100% or 2 value, sticks to the animation. If you do animation fill mode none, I think it just snaps back to what it is. If you do animation fill mode both, it starts out at whatever the from value is and then stays on whatever the to value is. So for now, we just want backwards because we don't want this to value to override what we're doing with the focus states. If we do not have that, or if we did animation fill mode both, that prevents the transform from changing with that focus value there. So we'll just leave it at backwards, and that'll work it. Cool.
So I'm going to play around with something over here, and that something
where is over here?
So counter reset item. Sorry,
you're going to try and do item.
Right, to get those numbers there. And the first step to doing CSS counters is to Google for it and then go to the MTN webpage, because I always forget. It's unintuitive. It's not the most unintuitive thing, but it's like a whole lot of, it's a redux of boilerplates and CSS. A few things in order to get it to work, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But
It is not intuitive.
As far as to say it's unintuitive.
Yeah.
Okay. Counter increment list, and we have that counter reset list in some sort of parents because that's what we do. I guess it's because they wanted to make counter flexible enough to transcend just children of parent, where it could be any random child inside based on document order or something like that. I have no idea. Let's try list. Okay, let's see how this works. So I don't see. Oh, do I have to do display block or something? And then grid column 2, 3. I still don't see my counter reset list on the list, and then we have counter increment list, and then contents. this
position absolute, right 0, top 0. Let's just apply to C.
Oh, they're there somewhere.
They are.
Oh, they're there. They're just hidden behind the thing. That makes total sense. Of course they would be. Okay, so I just have to adjust the grid. They're there though. Fun. All right, so with our nav item, we have grid template columns there, and then we want grid template rows. We want that nav item offset. I'm guessing that that's the distance between each of the nav items, right?
Yeah, but
right.
What are you trying to do here?
So I'll do grid row like -2, -1, something. Just get those counters to the right.
Well, grid column is what you want.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Grid row is the vertical, and then grid column is going to be the.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's
column should be correct.
I am not quite sure what you're going for here with the column layout.
You know what, that might be why. Okay, this before is wow. All right, 1 minute. 2, 3.
Well, there's only 2 grid row columns.
Oh, see, this is
sorry, grid.
He's trying to code while jet lagged.
So grid column 2, 3.
So grid row should be
3, 4. So let me go over into debug mode here. So if you are a CodePen Pro user, you can use debug mode by changing the pin in the URL to be just grid row. Okay, that's all it is. All right, hold on. Grid column is correct. There you go. Grid row. What did you do with the grid row? Grid template rows.
I don't know. I have one FR and then I have your nav item offset.
Yeah, that's not necessary. Wrong. That's not necessary at all. Okay, and then why is that coming out of the element? What did you?
You know what? We don't need this at all.
You don't need
we
what?
Actually don't need. No, we don't need grid row at all.
What is happening?
Because grid.
So nav item before. Now is the.
And this should be 2, 3. I'll take care of this. I think I.
No, it needs to be 3, 4. Oh, you added the background color to it. That's what it is. That's all it was. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So change this back to 3, 4. And there we go.
Okay.
Now our numbers are in place.
They're somewhere.
They're at the very top.
Okay. Which
if you go back and look at the animation, they're up at the top. of it.
Not the very top there. Like...
No. So that's when you do, top.
All right.
Boom.
Well, then what's the point of display grid then?
Good question. No, it will come in handy later.
Sure.
So grid template rows, you would do something like 10% auto or 10% 1FR, and then down here, grid template or grid row 2. And then that will give the offset that you're wanting there, because then the content within there can use that same grid row, and it'll help. Fun with CSS grid.
All right, makes sense.
All right. Okay, this we'll just do auto. Let's see. Template 1FR. And then like 20% auto. Yeah. Should be good.
Just gonna add a fun new CSS variable, font. So let's set this up.
Oh, nice. That's nice looking.
You're loaded already? Yeah, mine's still loading. Oh, there we go. All right, so now we have our nice fonts.
Top 10%
Yeah.
is not working. The H. Sure. And now what we can do is the opposite of the slide down animation. Because if you look, when they're coming in, the numbers are actually coming up. So keyframes slide up from transform translate y 100% to transform translate y 0, and then we'll do animation inherit, animation name slide up, and complete my curly braces there. Okay, that did not slide up from transform translate y 100%. Huh. It doesn't seem to be working, does it?
Working?
What's that?
It's not working? Or
it does not seem to be working. So animation inherit, animation name slide up. It's like y. It should be inheriting that. Let me go back over to debug mode here and inspect. See what's going on. Animation inherit. Inherit.
oh, are you moving them up at the same time?
Animation delay. Animation.
I mean, that's why they have the illusion of not moving.
Right. Oh, okay, because it's it's 100%.
Yeah, so you have to do like 200%. No, even like.
Oh, right, one. Yeah.
Have fun with it. No.
Let me save. Let's see.
Or maybe not that much fun.
Right, probably like 150, 120, something like that.
There you go, sort of. 5. Yay, number.
And what we'll do, we need to add overflow hidden on the nav item as well.
There we go.
Take off that border. that now. Okay.
Nice. Using viewports.
Yeah, I don't know if vmin is what we'll want there. It probably needs to be locked to the width since we're using width as, as an offset. Something like 3 is probably 2. All right, that can be played with. There we go. Got that kind of offset animation.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then let me see. Let's see. Let me get an image to drop in. This first one here. And
image. Just noticed something.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll do it right over here. We have focus, and also a little bit of a so we could do here. Let's do this. Plus, let's say like 2 VW. Just a little. So when you hover, I don't know. Oh, geez. I don't know if you noticed, but there's like a little nudge, and I overdid that nudge. Wait. Because, that's a completely wrong measurement.
Well, and that probably needs to be before focus. Because we want focus to take precedence.
Right, yeah. But I still have it wrong, I think. Yeah, I do. Well, now the hover's not really doing anything.
It would be var tx plus.
Right,
like,
but the problem is the var tx is the entire kit and caboodle.
Translate
Translate x. So I'm going to get rid of that, and wherever translate x, then we're going to have that var tx.
Well, you can just do that.
Nope.
No. All right. There we go.
Yep.
All right, but
I know it's a little silly, but it works.
It definitely causes issues while it's animating in, unfortunately. But
does it?
Well, like if you accidentally hover over one while it's animating. And then the focus
specificity.
Well, right. So do it here. Do like that, and then that.
Wait, but then we.
Yeah, I guess that.
Like, if none of them are focused, then.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have that, but we'll also have like those additional rules. So. Plus, we could probably just nudge it like a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, yeah. The problem is like when
once you're focused, that goes away.
Then,
so
then they don't really move. Which that presents an interesting problem. Like, because if one is expanded, then we do want it to like still nudge a little, even if it's like pushed out to the side.
You would do it down here,
right?
Just,
yes.
Transform, translate x 2% is all you do. You wouldn't want the, and then that should do it. Yep. Yeah. So let's variable that. Nav item offset, nav item hover offset 2%. And we just do that down here. Var nav item hover offset. That way, that keeps it a little more global.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would you think about just so that we add one more thing here, having it be so you can't click them until like it's wow, that's really funny. Like if you focus out one and then you try to hover over it, yeah.
So yeah, if we add pointer events none to the animation,
Like the effects of hovering while something is animating. Have you noticed that?
right. That so down in the animation, I added pointer events none, which.
Very good. I probably need a refresh.
Yeah, let me see. So I saved that. Refresh here. Yeah, that does seem to work. Yeah, because you can't hover over them until it's complete, and because we're using animation fill mode backwards, that'll do it.
No, I'm still getting the weirdness, like when you hover and stuff. You see that?
No, I do not.
So try clicking panel 1 and then moving your mouse to the right. See what happens.
It works correctly.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I don't have the VS Code then.
I've saved, so it should load the latest.
Oh yeah. So click.
Oh, okay. There is something weird I saw for like half a second.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe it's while it's animating. So like while if you click into one really quickly while the others are still animating, is that what's happening? Because
yeah,
it's fine.
But we could here, let's see, focus nav item. Yeah, it's still a little bit crazy. Trying to think through what it is. I know that if one of my thoughts was if we had an animation, all it did was pointer events none, and lasted for the duration, then it would be like a, it would not allow pointer events for the entire duration of the transition.
Which transition?
That might.
Oh, like of all the items? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Coyer in the chat saying it's like there's been zero flipping in here. That's right. We got to start.
No flipping when you do all transform.
and no state machines too, guys. This is
I got an idea. No flipping, implicit state machines. That doesn't mean there's no state machines, but they're there. They're there. Okay, so here's my idea. With tab item, like this is sort of one of my crazy ideas, but we're going to have and actually this might be looking nicer. So
what's your plan here?
What we're going to do is we're going to have a pseudo element to act as the background for the same trick that we've been doing before. And see there, color, and so we don't need the background anymore. This thing. So you notice right now it's covering that, and that's because we need to add like a z index of 1 or something,
or elements, or swap the before and after. But yeah,
I'm too lazy to do that. Okay, so now and this is going to make things a lot simpler. However, it only applies to the.
Say that again. Sorry, you're breaking up.
hover only applies to the after element.
Or only applies to the after element, huh?
Yeah, so you'll notice hover and then transform, we could just say translate X like one view.
Oh, right, for the pseudo element. But we do have overflow hidden, so that.
Oh, so that's not going to do anything.
We could add padding right. And have like that kind of invisible, and then the after starts out translated over.
I got you.
I don't know that that's any simpler.
I don't know. It might be. So yeah, I get what you're. So let's try that real quick. Yep, yeah. That'll do it. That'll do. Just have transition, transform.
There we go.
My code's not updating fast enough, but yeah, that works. Now we don't have any weirdness, I think.
There is weirdness if you're on an item and you hover it, like go to 2 and then and hover. The background for the green one is not fully covering.
You know why? Because there's still one hover on the. There we go. I killed it. There was one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? So now it's good.
No, I'm still getting.
And the thing is being a little troublesome, but
maybe it's just dependent on like your viewport size. No, I'm getting it at various sizes. Okay, so after.
And we have like a white little thing happening there.
What?
So all right. So this writes one V. That should probably be, let's do it the other way, -1 and then 1 VW and then, wait, no,
because what this is doing is or what that was doing is pushing it over, which is the cause of that little gap, but
yeah, we wanted to not have a little gap, so
right, because
if we do it.
Well, so part of the issue there is, let me see. Well, it's overflow hidden is the thing, to hide the numbers and to hide the backgrounds and all that from where they're sliding. So it can't be bigger than the element itself. So we have to kind of fake that with that. So let's see. Yeah, that's not working. Right. So yes, that's what we want. No, that's not what we want. Transform, translate Y. W. Okay, so the after element. All right, let me refresh over here so I can inspect a little bit. All right, so what's happening is that background is being pushed off. If we focus on 2,
yeah.
We've got the background here and the pseudo element. Dang it! All these focus states are tripping me up. All right, so that is pushed over because of right. Oops. Right, 0. Transform, translate. thanks for following, Knapp. We need 5% back in there. Okay, so that's the problem there. Percent right, VW, and then this. So in the focus state, if we do after transform none, that may do it. All right. Transform, no.
I messed up the. I was getting rid of overflow hidden. Oops. But I'll add it back if you have a plan.
What'd you do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What is, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. So let's see, overflow hidden. Yeah, we need that.
It could. Let's see, translate Y, and so our focus transform.
What are you attempting?
I am here. So instead of like moving them all the way to the right, just transform calc, or sorry, not transform calc, transform. Well, they're already transformed, so I just want to do -1 VW. So that they don't go all the way ever. That makes sense.
So let's see, transform. Yeah, it's not working.
Is it 1 VW that we have? Oh, the padding 2 VW. So that's why. Magic numbers.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. What is happening?
All right. I don't know. All right. So let's go back to none. Oh, you know what we could do? This is also a very simple solution, like one of our many simple solutions, which this one might actually work. Hover, not focus. So if it's focused, there's no need to nudge it, if that makes sense. Why is there
yeah, but that's not quite the issue. The issue is the ones that aren't focused are shifted over. Because they need that space for the hover transition. So the problem is the focused one is moved over too far. So if we do translate x -2 VW, in theory that does it, but let's find out.
Nice.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
There we go.
There we go.
Right. So yeah, those are some magic numbers that should be put in some vars or something. Yeah, I was just about to say. Sorry, yeah.
All right. Well, looks good to me.
All right, that's yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Cool. Anything else you wanted to tackle with this? I know we needed to keep it short today.
Yeah, and no, I think this is good.
Yeah, this is a nice stopping point. So we'll start moving into Keyflections. So yeah, let's do that. We're now moving into Keyflections, a quick review of the techniques used to build this animation. If you have any questions, ask us in the chat and we'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed watching us so far, you could follow and subscribe here on Twitch or YouTube or pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. Links are available below.
That's right. So today's animation is A plus WQ/Young Lab Story Slider Animation by Zinnia, which is a fantastic animation with a lot of extra elements. We mainly wanted to do this kind of sliding card effect here, so we've focused on that. But yeah, basically when you click into one of these navigation items, it expands to full width, and the others kind of collapse around it. So this is where we ended up. Let's rerun. Let me remember what my shortcut is for that, so we can rerun the animation. That's not it. Don't mind me, blah blah blah. Let's replay. That's what we want. Next replay. All right, so yeah, now we can rerun it. All right, so our HTML is pretty straightforward here. We've got a nav with bar navigation as the class, and then a nav list and 4 nav items. Each of those nav items has a CSS variable for the index to allow us to do things like staggering and other fun things. And then a color variable, which uses one of our other variables to just give it a specific color. That way we're not having to like target nth child or anything like that. And then David's added some tab indexes in there as well, so we can just use focus states, and we won't have to do any JavaScript for the actual animation. I've got some JavaScript added in there now that just re-triggers the animation, so we can help explain that as we go. All right, so in the root we have a bunch of our variables, all the different colors we're using, as well as the offset for the items. That's what's giving them their width here, and then the hover offset that's happening. I don't think we're actually using that one anymore, but we need to go back and add that in there. And then easing and duration. And so let's see. Bar navigation, nothing fancy there. It's just to give us some sizing. And then so each nav item is mainly where we want to focus here. Where to start? All right, margin left. This is actually offsetting all of the items. If we remove that, you'll see. Let's see. If we remove that and the transform. Because these are position absolute, they're overlapping each other, so you can't really even see the others. But if we add that margin left back in there, that will at least give us all of the items kind of overlapping each other there. And then we add in our transform TX, which is moving everything all the way off to the side. We've got overflow hidden here, so those are just kind of hanging off the side until we focus in. Oops, and I got to remove that because that's not helpful for actually selecting the items. So once we select an item, we're using the focus styles to transform it, to basically reset the transform so that it's in its actual place, and then the adjacent. Is that the right? Yeah, the adjacent siblings are all transform none, so they're shifted over to the side. And then, do you want to explain the pseudo elements?
Yeah, sure. So this is using CSS counter, and so we start the counter over in the nav list, and that just identifies that we're counting based on the grouping within that nav list. I guess. I don't know. There's some reason for that. But anyway, counter increment list. So it's going to start counting each of these, from, I don't know, I guess the first element. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4. And the contents, of course, that's counter. You could even add some extra CSS over there and have like a little dot.
Wow.
And which actually that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, you can leave that in. Just change the sizing a little bit.
Yeah. And so at the same time that these come down, these need to come up. Now, normally you could do 100%, but as Shaw discovered earlier in the video, if you go back to it, it gave the illusion that it wasn't moving. And the reason for that was because it was moving up at the same rates that it was moving down. And so if you've ever taken a physics class or anything like that, you know that means no movement. It sort of cancels each other out. So that's why
which is a cool effect on its own.
Yeah, and we've done some interesting things with that sort of thinking in mind. But we had like 125% just so that we could get it to slide up a little bit, and
right, basically counteracting that force of the main part.
Right. Now, one last little thing, which was supposed to be something small, but it ended up being a little bit more complex than we thought, was when you hover over it, you have a little nudge to the side. And so the final solution was that we used an inverse element. And so that allows you to have the hover animation completely independent from its sliding, which adds some interesting glitches.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Yeah, that ran into trouble because we're using overflow hidden on each of the nav items here, so that the background isn't overflowing outside of it as that's animating, and the pseudo element with the text in it as well. So yeah, there's just a few considerations there that needed to be made, and this is what ended up working for us. So the after is translated over a little bit, but when you hover, it transforms none and transform nuns, so that you get that nice little hover effect. And then when you click into it, it's not actually doing anything. So it's not actually moving, that is.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's pretty much all of this. It's full of CSS goodness, transitions, and animations as well. So we have some keyframes in there doing some of the legwork too, especially with that intro animation.
Yes. Right. So the slide down animation, nothing too wild there. It's just translate Y negative 100% basically. And we added pointer events none so that those little hover interactions don't trigger anything until the animation is done. And because we're using fill mode backwards, we can keep that pointer events none on there the whole time. And
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah. Well, that's all we've got for you today. You have been watching Keyframers. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more from David and I, there are many ways you can support us. Primary one being patreon.com/keyframers. You can go there and pledge to support us each month, and that helps us out a ton. Thank you so much to our current patrons. We appreciate y'all. You can also like and subscribe at youtube.com/keyframers, where we'll have this video available after the stream. And thanks for watching and participating live, those of you that have joined us.
Mm-hmm. We do accept submissions for future episodes. I think someone mentioned the Persona 5 animations, and I was actually looking at them on YouTube. They're a little bit crazy, but they might be fun. They're video game animations. So things like that, just feel free to present to us. And you could also present questions or challenges, because we want this to be a learning opportunity for you too. Yes. So please share this video.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Until next time, adios, amigos.
Adios.